Detroit, a city built on engines, music, and pride, now cracked by winter and survival. Every block tells two stories, one of what used to be and one of what's left. And in the middle of it all stood Evelyn Mercer. She wasn't rich, she wasn't famous, but she was the kind of woman everyone remembered, the one who always had soup on the stove, advice in her pocket, and room in her heart for kids nobody else wanted. Evelyn's house was a shelter in a city that forgot how to care. Inside those worn walls, four boys found the only real family they'd ever know. They weren't related by blood, just by circumstance, by survival, by her stubborn love. Her name meant stability. Her word meant safety. And in a city like Detroit, that made her rare and vulnerable. It starts with something ordinary, a snowy evening, a corner convenience store glowing against the cold. Evelyn walks in, still wearing her winter coat, her hair wrapped up in a scarf she's probably had for years. She greets everyone, the clerk, a teenage kid browsing chips, the way she always does. Then comes the mistake. Two men enter, faces hidden, eyes restless. They pretend to shop, but the moment she turns her back, steel flashes, words barked, the air splits with panic. And before anyone can understand what's happening, a shot. The robbers flee. The silence that follows feels heavier than the snow outside. By the time police arrive, Evelyn Mercer is gone. A woman who gave her life to saving others dies in a place meant for errands and small talk. It doesn't make sense, and for four men scattered across the country, that senselessness becomes a summons. When the call goes out, they come home. Not out of duty, but out of something deeper. Bobby Mercer, the eldest, hot-headed, reckless, a man who learned early that fists talk faster than words. He's been gone the longest, drifting between hustles and fights, never staying anywhere too long. But when he hears about Evelyn, he doesn't hesitate. He's on the next flight. Jeremiah Mercer, calm, composed, the responsible one. He stayed behind, tried to build something real, a business, a home, a future. People call him the good one, but Jeremiah knows better. Snow falls thick on the day of Evelyn's funeral. The church is small, filled with faces from the neighborhood. Mothers she helped, kids she once looked after, men she scolded into doing better. Her sons sit in the front pew, staring at the coffin, trying not to let the world see them break. The pastor speaks about forgiveness. Bobby clenches his jaw. Forgiveness doesn't bring their mother back. After the service, they step outside. The cold bites, the city hums, and one by one, they start to realize no one's going to fight for her. Not really. Two detectives pull them aside. Lieutenant Green, who knew the family, and Detective Fowler, who clearly doesn't care beyond his paycheck. They talk procedure, investigation, witnesses. They say robbery gone wrong. But Bobby isn't buying it. Something in his gut says this wasn't random. That night, back at the old Mercer house, the brothers sit around the kitchen table. The same table where Evelyn used to serve dinner and sermons in equal measure. Silence stretches long enough to hurt. Then Bobby speaks first. He says what they're all thinking. The cops ain't gonna do a damn thing. We will. It isn't about justice anymore, it's about family. The Mercer house looks smaller now. Every photo, every mug, every piece of furniture holds her absence. And yet, her presence lingers. In the smell of coffee, in the notes on the fridge, in the way the brothers can still hear her voice when they argue. As they move through those rooms, they remember who they were and who she made them. She didn't just feed them, she built them. And that means something now. Jeremiah tries to keep calm, insists they should wait for the police, that violence will only make things worse. But Bobby, Angel, and Jack don't speak the language of waiting. Their grief has teeth. So they start asking questions. Who saw her last? Why did she go out that night? Why did the store cameras malfunction the same hour she was shot? Each answer only leads to more shadows. Detroit isn't just a setting here. It's a living, breathing beast. Snow-covered rooftops hide secrets. Alleys whisper rumors. Everyone owes someone something. This city shaped the Mercer brothers as much as Evelyn did, and now it's testing them again. The brothers may share a last name, but they couldn't be more different, and the film uses that to its advantage. Jeremiah represents reason. He sees the city's potential, believes rules still matter. Bobby is chaos, emotion, force, the embodiment of everything Evelyn tried to civilize. Angel stands between the two, the soldier who knows both order and instinct. Jack is innocence, the reminder of what they're fighting for. Each brings a piece of the puzzle. Each also carries guilt. Jeremiah feels responsible for not protecting her. Bobby blames himself for leaving. Angel wonders if his military training should have taught him how to deal with this pain. And Jack, he just misses his mom. It's not just a revenge story. It's a family rediscovering itself through loss. When you lose someone unjustly, every rumor feels like a clue. They start by questioning the neighborhood kids. One says he saw a car speed away, dark color, tinted windows, 2 men inside. Another swears one shooter had a limp. The cops dismiss it all as unreliable. Bobby doesn't. He tracks down old contacts, hustlers, gamblers, small-time crooks who remember the Mercers. Some respect him, some fear him, but they all know he means business. When words fail, Bobby uses fists. Angel backs him up, quiet and calculated. Jeremiah tries to play diplomat, trying to stop his brothers from burning bridges they might still need to cross. But it's too late. The streets have noticed. The Mercer boys are back, and they're asking the wrong people the right questions. It doesn't take long before one name keeps popping up: Victor Sweet, a local crime boss with charm on the surface and rot underneath. He runs his empire from luxury restaurants, while his enforcers run neighborhoods like kingdoms. Jeremiah once had dealings with Sweet. Construction permits, city contracts. He thought he could keep things professional. Now he realizes how naive that was. The mention of Sweet puts everyone on edge. Even the cops tread carefully. And Evelyn? She might have stumbled too close to something he wanted quiet. The brothers don't have proof yet, only whispers. But whispers in Detroit are currency. And the Mercers just started spending. That's where the story truly begins. 4 brothers, 1 loss, and a city that doesn't forgive curiosity. Detroit doesn't hand out answers. You have to take them. And the Mercer brothers? They've never been good at asking politely. They start with people Evelyn used to help: store owners, neighbors, the kids she fed. Most look away when Bobby walks in. They know that look in his eyes. It's not grief anymore. It's hunger. For truth, for payback, maybe both. One old man says, Evelyn kept everyone honest. That single line sticks, because in this neighborhood, honesty is expensive. Angel drives them through back alleys, stopping at bars that never close, at pool halls, where favors get traded like currency. Everywhere they go, one phrase repeats: it wasn't random. Someone wanted her gone. A young hustler finally cracks. He talks about 2 masked shooters who got paid for a job, but he doesn't know who paid them. Only that the money came fast. Crisp bills, new car, fancy shoes. Bobby leans in close. Who's behind it? He asks. The kid shakes his head, trembling. You don't want to know, Mercer. But Bobby always wants to know. They leave the bar, cold wind cutting across their faces. The car ride is silent, no one sure what to say. Then Angel mutters, this city eats people like her. We're next if we don't finish this. As the nights stretch on, tension grows inside the Mercer family. Jeremiah keeps reminding them that violence brings police heat and public attention, both dangerous for a man trying to run a business. He's not wrong. His construction project already attracts the wrong investors. But Bobby doesn't care. Mom's dead because people like you keep playing nice, he spits. The argument explodes, years of resentment spilling out. Jeremiah shoves back, accusing Bobby of leaving when times got hard. Angel steps in, separating them before it turns into fists. Jack sits quietly, eyes wet. He hates seeing them like this. It's the rawest part of the film, a family split between heart and logic. Each believes they're honoring Evelyn, but in different ways. Later, Jack finds something in Evelyn's paperwork. Old letters from the city council, property reports, a complaint she filed about neighborhood corruption. She was fighting against a redevelopment deal, something about stolen funds, unapproved demolitions, names that connect back to Victor Sweet's front companies. The pieces start fitting together. Maybe Evelyn saw something she wasn't supposed to. Maybe she told someone she'd report it. And maybe that's why she's gone. They decide to check the city records. Jeremiah's contacts help them get in after hours. It's quiet, eerie, the sound of the copier echoing like gunfire. They print files, make notes, and realize how deep this goes. The next morning, two detectives show up at their door again. Fowler is smug. Green looks tired. Fowler warns them, "If you boys don't stop interfering, I'll have you locked up for obstruction." Bobby smirks. "Do it, but I'll still be closer to the truth than you are." Green looks away, almost apologetic. He knows Bobby's right. Something's wrong inside the department. After they leave, the brothers talk. They know one of these cops isn't clean. They just don't know which one. Bobby and Angel track down one of the supposed robbers, a nervous man living in an abandoned building. They drag him outside, under the orange glow of streetlights. He swears he never meant to kill Evelyn, that it was supposed to be a scare job, that someone higher paid them to do it. When Bobby asks who, the man clams up. Angel steps forward, cold eyes steady. "Say his name," he says. The man hesitates, then blurts, "Sweet's people." It's not confirmation, but it's enough. Victor Sweet's name has been circling their heads for days. Now it feels real. Victor Sweet runs Detroit from behind mahogany tables and champagne glasses. He's the kind of man who never touches blood himself. He just signs the checks. He dresses sharp, smiles wide, and uses fear like a currency. He likes to humiliate those who disappoint him, not kill them outright, but remind them who owns their souls. When he hears the Mercer boys are stirring up trouble, he laughs. "4 orphans think they're cowboys," he says. But underneath that grin, he's worried. Because if they dig deep enough, they'll find what he's built, and who protects him. Jack, the youngest Mercer, becomes the heart of the story in the middle act. He's impulsive, emotional, eager to prove himself to his brothers. When he hears about a lead, one of Sweet's after Jack's near death, Bobby becomes something else. His rage focuses. He stops asking questions and starts planning revenge. Angel supports him. He's seen what happens when hesitation costs lives. Jeremiah pleads for restraint, but it's too late. The brothers have become what the city forced them to be, soldiers without uniforms. They stake out Sweet's operations, follow his cars, photograph his enforcers, and slowly connect dots to one unexpected name. Someone within the police department who's been feeding him information. The realization hits hard. Their mother's death wasn't just about crime. It was about power. They organize a confrontation meant to flush out the truth. Jeremiah uses his construction contacts to lure a meeting. Angel covers the exits. Bobby waits in the cold. What happens next is tense. Shouting, lies, the sound of snow crunching under boots. Betrayal spilling like fuel. No spoilers, but this is where everything the film has built begins to snap into focus. It's not about who pulled the trigger. It's about who allowed it, who looked away, who sold silence. And that truth hurts more than any bullet could. When the storm settles, the brothers return home. They sit in Evelyn's living room again, the same space that started it all. The TV hums quietly. No one watches. Jack's arm is bandaged. Jeremiah stares out the window. Bobby finally exhales, the first real breath he's taken since the funeral. He looks at the photos on the wall, at the woman who gave them a name. "She used to say we were her good boys," he mutters. Angel smiles faintly. "Guess we still are, in our own messed up way." Detroit outside remains unchanged. Factories sleeping, lights flickering. The brothers drive through it one last time, the radio low, silence comfortable. They've uncovered enough truth to fill a lifetime, but justice? That's another story. What lingers is the bond, not the vengeance. They've rediscovered each other, learned that blood doesn't define family. Choices do. Evelyn's lesson, even in death, still stands. Family is the only thing that makes sense when nothing else does. Four brothers might wear the clothes of an action movie, but underneath, it's about the fractures of masculinity, the morality. The brothers finally corner the truth. It's ugly. It's human. It's tied to greed and betrayal. They learn that Evelyn's death wasn't random, and that the men who ordered it underestimated how far her sons would go. By the time the dust begins to settle, the city has changed them. They came home as four separate lives. They leave as one collective soul, broken but bonded. The Mercer family, once fractured, now stands united in grief and resolve. And that's what sets four brothers apart. It's not about revenge alone. It's about finding the strength to hold on to family when everything else falls apart. The guns, the fights, the chaos, they're just noise. What remains is love. And love, in a city that forgot how to care, is its own kind of rebellion. Some stories don't end with victory. They end with understanding. And in Four Brothers, that understanding hits harder than any bullet or brawl ever could. The Mercers didn't just lose a mother. They lost the one person who made them believe the world could be good. And through the chaos, through the blood and betrayal, they found what she had been trying to teach them all along. That family isn't something you're born into. It's something you fight to keep. The snow hasn't stopped falling. It covers everything: the scars on the streets, the cracks in the walls, the mistakes no one wants to admit. In Detroit, snow is both a blessing and a curse. It hides the ugliness, but it also buries the truth. For the Mercer brothers, this city is now a graveyard of memories. But somehow, standing there together, it feels like home again. Angel leans against the hood of the car, smoke curling into the cold air. Jack hums softly, a song Evelyn used to love. Jeremiah stares at the skyline, wondering if the city will ever forgive them. And Bobby just watches them all, silent, proud, broken. He doesn't need to say anything. They all know what's been lost and what's been found. Evelyn Mercer didn't have much. No fortune, no fame, no fancy home. But she left something priceless behind. Four men who now understand love the way she meant it. It's not about softness. It's about sacrifice. It's about showing up when the world turns its back. Her lessons live on in them. Detroit doesn't stop for grief. Tomorrow, another fire will burn. Another deal will be made. Another kid will try to survive the streets. But somewhere in that chaos, maybe someone will remember Evelyn Mercer, the woman who gave broken boys a second chance. And maybe they'll think twice before calling someone hopeless. Because the truth is, the Mercers weren't saints. They were fighters, flawed and fierce. But they proved something Evelyn always believed: that people can change when someone believes they're worth saving. In the quiet after the storm, they rebuild the house. Not perfect, but strong. They hang new pictures beside the old ones. The table is smaller now, but the laughter sounds the same. For the first time in years, they eat together. No shouting, no anger, just silence, food, and memory. It's bittersweet, but it's peace. Bobby looks around and whispers, "We're home, Ma." It's not meant for anyone else to hear, but somehow in that room, it feels like she does. Four Brothers ends not with triumph, but with understanding. That justice isn't always clean, and family isn't always blood. It's a story about how love can survive even in the dirtiest corners of the world. It asks a simple question. When everything you believe in is taken away, what kind of person do you become? For the Mercers, the answer is complicated. They're not heroes. They're not villains. They're just sons, doing the only thing their mother ever taught them to do: stand up for what's right, no matter the cost. And that's why this film still resonates. It's not about revenge, it's about redemption. It's about family. the kind you fight for, even when it hurts. The camera would fade on the Detroit skyline, snow still falling, as if the world keeps turning no matter who it leaves behind. But if you listen closely, you can almost hear Evelyn's voice, gentle but firm. You boys did good. And maybe that's all the peace they'll ever get. Not justice, not revenge, just the quiet knowledge that their mother's love and her lessons will never die. Because in the end, the Mercer brothers didn't just avenge her, they became her legacy. And that's what family means. Four brothers, a story